Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Magic Ridge. Today we have another deck tech for you. Now, as you guys know, I am my own entity here at Magic Ridge, but I also have a group of friends that I play Elder Dragon Highlander with, and we've been recording videos and putting them on YouTube as well. That is Commander Wars. So every week I basically build a new commander for that show. So for last week, and I actually got a win with the deck, last week I built Xira Arien. She's a Jund commander, black, red, green, 3cc. She's a flying 1/2. You can pay the Jund colors, tap her, target player draws a card. This deck is pretty heavy in the control. Lacks a little bit on the creatures, but I took home a win with it. So I'm going to share the deck tech with you guys. If you like the video, smash that thumbs up and subscribe for more, because more there will be. I'll see you on the flip side. Welcome back to Xira Arien deck tech. So here it is, the legendary commander herself, the Queen Insect. Like I said, she's Jund, black, red, green. I believe she's an insect. She's a flying 1/2. Pay Jund, tap her, target player draws a card. Awesome. In the deck I have Carrionet, 2cc, summon skeleton for 2 of any color in black, black. Remove Carrionet and target creature from the game. That creature's controller may pay 2 to counter this ability. Use this ability only if Carrionet is in your graveyard. Next, we have Thorn of the Black Rose, Death Touch. When Thorn of the Black Rose enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Fitting, you know, I've got the queen here. We've got Flame Weathered Phoenix, 4cc, 3/3 flyer, tribute 2. As this creature enters the battlefield, an opponent of your choice may place 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When Flame Wreathed Phoenix enters the battlefield, if tribute wasn't paid, it gains haste. And when this creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Next, we have Endling, 4cc, creature type zombie shapeshifter, 3/3. Endling gains menace until end of turn. For 1 black mana, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. 1 black mana gains Undying until end of turn, so it'll come back with a +1. It'll come back with a +1/+1 counter on it. If it didn't have a +1/+1 counter on it before, you can type 1 mana of any color and give it +1, -1, or -1, +1 until end of turn. Very cool. Next, we have Yurlok, the Scorch Thrash, 1 of any color mana and Jund, 4cc, legendary creature, Vishino Shaman, 4/4 vigilance. A player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. You can pay 1 mana of any color, tap this feller. Each player adds Jund to their mana pool, 3 mana, so that'll be 3 damage, unless they use the mana, I guess. We have Drana, Colostria Blood Chief, 5cc, legendary creature, Vampire Shaman, flying 4/4. You can pay X mana of any type and black, black. Target creature gets -0, -X until end of turn, and Drana gets +X, +0 until end of turn. Very nice. Alright, next up we have Chamber Breaker Devils. 6cc, creature type Devil, 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, return an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Chamber Breaker Devils gets +4, +0 until end of turn. Next, we have Elvish Aberration, 6cc Elf Mutant, 4/5. You can force cycle it for 2, or you can tap it to add 3 mana, 3 forests to your mana pool. Next, we have Chaos Imps, 6cc, creature type Imp, 6/5 flying, Unleash. If you unleash it, I believe it comes on the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter, and it can't block, as long as it has a +1/+1 counter on it. Chaos Imps have trample as long as it's got the +1/+1 counter. Next, we have Senger, the Dark Baron, 6cc legendary creature, a vampire noble, 4/4 flying. When another creature dies, put 2+1/+1 counters on Singer the Dark Baron. When another player loses a game, you gain life equal to that player's life total as that turn began. Also as partner. Next, we have Wart the Raid Mother. 6cc, legendary creature Goblin Shaman. 3/3. When Wart the Raid Mother enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red and green Goblin Warrior creature tokens. Each red and green instant or sorcery spell you cast has Conspire. As you cast a spell, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control that share a color with it. When you do, copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Very nice. Next, we have Broodmate Dragon, 3 of any color mana, and Jund. 6cc, creature type Dragon, 4/4 flyer. When Broodmate Dragon enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Nice. And then that's pretty much it for the creatures. Definitely lacking on the creatures, but apparently it wins games regardless. This would be like the bread and butter, whatever is extra, besides card draw, ramp, and single target, board wipes, etc. So this is all the other stuff. So we have Blackblade Reforged, 2cc, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. You can equip the legendary creature for 3 mana of any color, or any creature for 7 mana of any color. Next we have Increasing Vengeance, 2cc, Mountain, instant speed, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. If this spell was cast from your graveyard, copy that spell twice instead. You may choose new targets for the copies. Flashback of 5cc. Next, we have Vow of Wildness for 3cc, Enchant Aura, Enchant Creature. Enchant Creature has +3/+3, has Trample, and can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Very good. We have Death Render, 4 mana of any color. Artifact Equipment, equipped creature gets +2/+2. When equipped creature is put into a graveyard from play, you may put a creature card from your hand into play and attach Death Render to it. Has equipped 2 mana of any color. We have Diabolic Tutor, 4cc, search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle your library. We have Coveted Prize, 5cc sorcery. This spell costs 1 last for each creature in your party. Search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. If you have a full party, you may cast a spell with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Basically, just 5cc tutor in this deck. Palace Siege, 5cc. As Palace Siege enters the battlefield, choose Cons or Dragons. Cons, at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Dragons, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Next up, we have Good Old Omen Machine, 6 mana of any color, 6cc, artifact. Players can't draw cards. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. If it's a land card, that player puts it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, that player casts it without paying its mana cost if able. Next up, we have Bounty of Might, 6cc, instant speed. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. So multiple creatures can be targeted, or you can give a creature +9/+9. Whatever your fancy. Command the Dreadhorde, 6cc, sorcery, speed. Choose any number of target creatures and or planeswalker cards in graveyards. Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. Next up, we have Fated Return, 4 mana of any color and 3 black. 7cc, instant speed. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains indestructible. If it's your turn, scry 2. Next up, we have Peer into the Abyss. Also has 7cc. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in his or her library and loses half their life. Round up each time. So if you Peer into the Abyss with the other red card there for 2 mana, copying it, you can pretty much deck somebody in one shot. It's going to cost like 9 mana though. Next we have Kamal's Druidic Vow, X, mana of any color, and 2 green. Legendary sorcery. You have to have a legendary creature or planeswalker to cast this spell. Look at the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of land or legendary permanent cards with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest into your graveyard. And that's it. Next, we'll go on to the other packages. So we have Looks like we're going to go to single target removal first. So, here we go. So, Oops. So, for single target removal, we have Doomblade, 2cc, instant speed, destroy target non-black creature. Next up, we have Feed the Swarm, 2cc, sorcery speed, destroy target creature or enchantment and opponent controls. You lose life equal to permanent's converted mana cost. Next up, we have good old Ancient Grudge, 2cc, instant speed, destroy target artifact, and has flashback for 1 forest. We have Terminate for 2cc, destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. Next, we have Eyeblight's Ending, 3cc, tribal instant elf, destroy target non-elf creature. We have Obnixilis Cruelty, 3cc, instant speed, target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. We have Good Old Murder, 3cc, destroy target creature. We have Never and Return, destroy target creature or planeswalker, or it's got Aftermath, exile target creature from a graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Next, we have Price of Fame, 4cc or 2cc, depending on the target. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a legendary creature. Destroy target creature, Surveil 2. Next, we have Feed the Serpent, 4cc, exile target creature or planeswalker. Ravenous. Alright, and next up we have Ravenous Chupacabra, 4cc, Beast Horror 2/2. When Ravenous Chupacabra enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Next up, we have Binding the Old Gods, 4cc, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Search your library. For the second part, search your library for a forest card. Put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. For the third part, creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Next up, we have the board wipes. So we have Deadly Tempest, 6cc, sorcery speed, destroy all creatures. Each player loses life equal to the number of creatures he or she controlled that were destroyed this way. Necromantic Selection, 7cc, sorcery speed, destroy all creatures, then return a creature card put in a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie. In addition to its other colors and types, exile Necromantic Selection. And next up we have In Garruk's Wake. We have 9cc, sorcery speed, destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. And that is that. So next we have the ramp. So we have Moss Diamond, 2cc, artifact. Moss Diamond enters the battlefield tap and it adds a green mana to your mana pool. Next up we have Fire Diamond, 2cc, artifact. Fire Diamond enters the battlefield tapped, and you can add a red mana to your mana pool. Next up, we have Soul Bright Flamekin, 2cc, creature type Elemental Shaman, 2/1. You can pay 2 mana as many times as you want, mainly just 6 times. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. If this is the 3rd time this ability is resolved this turn, you may add, I think, 8 mana to your mana pool. Yeah, 8 red mana to your mana pool. Next up, we have Into the North, 2cc, sorcery speed, search your library for a Snowland card, and put it into play tapped, then shuffle your library. We have a Seer's Lantern, 3cc, artifact. You can tap to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, and you can tap to tap this Scry 1. We have Commander Sphere, 3cc, artifact. You can tap it to add a mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Sacrifice Commander Sphere, draw a card. We have Spectral Searchlight, 3cc, artifact. You can tap to choose a player. That player adds 1 mana of any color they choose. Next we have Pristine Talisman, 3 mana of any color, artifact. You can tap this to add 1 mana, 1 colorless mana to your mana pool and gain 1 life. Next up we have Replicating Ring, 3cc, snow artifact. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on Replicating Ring. Then if it has 8 or more night counters on it, remove all of them and create 8 colorless snow artifact tokens named Replicating Ring with tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Next up we have Cultivate, 3cc, sorcery speed. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, and put one on the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle your library. Then we have Savella, Ice Shaper, 3CC Legendary Snow Creature Troll Warrior. You can tap 3 mana, tap this, create a colorless snow artifact token named Icy Manalith with tap, add 1 mana of any color. You can also pay 6 mana of any color and red-green 8CC. Tap this guy, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. It is also a 2/4. Next up, we have Pregeneration. 4CC Sorcery Speed. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards and put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Shuffle your library, then scry 1. And now we move on to the draw. So we have Mask of Memory, 2CC Artifact Equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw 2 cards. If you do, discard a card, and it has an equip cost of 1. We have Tormenting Voice, 2CC. Sorcery Speed is an additional cost to cast Tormenting Voice. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. We have Thrill of Possibility, 2 mana. Instant Speed as an additional cost to cast a spell. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. We have Sign in Blood, 2CC. Black. Sorcery Speed, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Next, we have Seize the Spoils, 3CC, Sorcery Speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure token. You can sacrifice the treasure token to add 1 mana of any color. And we have Underworld Connections, 3CC, Enchantment Ore, Enchant Land. Enchant Land has tap, pay 1 life, draw a card. We have Blood Price, 4CC, Sorcery Speed. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You lose 2 life. I think these cards are very, very highly undervalued. They draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Yes, 2 of them are going to go on the bottom of your library, or the other one, I think they go into your graveyard, which is great for recursion decks. Yeah, and they're going for like 1 to 3 cents for these 2 here. Yeah, this one too. This one's literally 1 penny worth of card. So, Bitter Revelation, 4CC, Sorcery Speed. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Lose 2 life. Wonderful draw spell in black, in my opinion. Highly underrated. Next, we have Greed, 4CC, Enchantment. You can pay a black mana, pay 2 life, draw a card. We have Ancient Craving, 4CC, Sorcery Speed. Draw 3 cards, lose 3 life. This one's a cool one. So 5 mana for Harnfell Horn of Bounty. The other side's the God. It's a legendary artifact. You can discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. So it's kind of like a weird pseudo draw. And next we have Grook's Pack Leader, 5CC, Creature Beast, 4/4. Whenever another creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. That pretty much wraps the deck up. Other than the lands, we'll go through the lands real quick. Probably not that quick, assuming there's quite a bit. But we have Command Tower, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. We have Opal Palace, tap to add a colorless mana. You can use a colorless mana and tap this mana to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. If you spend this mana to cast your commander, it enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it equal to the number of times it's been cast from the command zone this game. We have Rupture Spire, enters the battlefield tap. When it enters the battlefield, you must pay 1 mana of any color or sacrifice it. Adds 1 mana of any color. We have Tetramorphic Expanse. You can tap, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tap, shuffle your library. We have Shimmer Drift Veil, Snowland, enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters, choose a color. You can tap it to add a mana of the chosen color. We have Evolving Wilds. You can sacrifice Evolving Wilds, search your library for a basic land card, and put it on the battlefield tap, shuffle your library. We have Exotic Orchard. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls can produce. Gateway Plaza enters tapped. When it enters, you have to pay 1 mana or sacrifice it. It also adds a mana of any color. We have Warped Landscape. You can tap to add a colorless mana or 2 colorless mana and tap this, sacrifice Warped Landscape, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Next, we have Cave of Temptation. You can tap it to add a mana of any of a colorless, or use a colorless. Tap this, add 1 mana of any color, or 4 mana. Tap this, sacrifice Cave of Temptation. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. Activate this only anytime you can do a sorcery. Next, we have Bloodfell Caves. Enters the battlefield taps. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. It can add black or red mana to your mana pool. We have Rakdos Guildgate. Enters the battlefield tapped. Can add red or black to your mana pool. We have Sulphurous Mire. Enters tapped. Can add black or red to your mana pool. We have Jungle Hollow. Enters tapped. When it comes into play, you gain a life. You can tap it to add green or black to your mana pool. Golgari Guildgate. Enters the battlefield tapped. Can add black or green to your mana pool. We have Woodland Chasm. Enters the battlefield tapped. Can add black or green to your mana pool. We have Rugged Highlands. Enters tapped. When it enters, you can gain 1 life. And tap to add red or green to your mana pool. Gruul Guildgate. Enters tapped. You can add red or green to your mana pool. Rugged Highlands. Enters tapped. When it enters, you can enter... I don't have 2 of those in here, do I? Yeah, okay. Scratch this one. This should be a basic land. Highland Forest. Enters the battlefield tapped. Add a red or green to your mana pool. So I meant to take that out earlier. But this deck's going to probably get ripped apart for next week's challenge. We have Memorial to Folly. Enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add a black mana to your mana pool. 3 mana, tap this, sacrifice Memorial to Folly. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And we have 4 Swamps. Then we have a Not Vold Slumber Mound. Enters the battlefield taps. You can tap it to add a red mana to your mana pool, or you can tap 6 CC and this, sacrifice Not Vold Slumber Mound, destroy target land, create a 4/4 green troll warrior token with trample. I then have 3 mountains. Then I have 4 forests. Then I have a Haunted Fengraf. You can tap it to add a colorless mana to your mana pool. Tap 3 colorless and this. Sacrifice Haunted Fengraf. Return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. And then we have Blighted Fen. You can tap to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or tap 5 mana in this. Sacrifice it. Target opponent sacrifice a creature. And that is it. A little sneak peek at what's coming up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it has arrived. We have got our booster box of Time Spiral Remastered. So perhaps Wednesday or Thursday should be the new set box opening with a massive giveaway. There's going to be 3 winners this time. Make sure to tune in Wednesday or Thursday.